So welcome,
Yeah,
Brad. Just wanted to give you a sense of what's happening here on the ground, and there's nobody better to talk to than Brad. So Brad, you're our asset manager.
Yes.
And so for some people, they're not exactly sure what an asset manager is. Could you talk a little bit about that, what that means?
Yeah. I would say my role is sort of financial asset and operational asset manager, because I feel like the asset manager title is a little, kind of vague for a lot of people. But operational, my job is basically to represent the owner and to make sure the business plan for the property is being implemented on the ground with the property management team. So my job is to oversee the property managers and look at everything from the monthly reports to leasing activity, and also managing on the value adds, managing the renovations as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
And then additionally, then also looking at monthly reports and looking and to manage expenses, and be able to ask and work with property management to make sure our expenses are under control, that we're meeting our pro forma targets, our rents are in line with pro forma, our leasing, our occupancy is that we're following that pro forma plan, right? So my job is to really be the boots on the ground. So I'm on site on the value add properties a couple times a week usually, having meetings with property management, as well as doing property management calls with usually the property manager, a regional manager, and any of the ownership interests that want to be on the call. And basically we go over everything really more intensely in the first year on a value add deal, because there's just so much going on with renovations.
Yeah.
But then as a project gets stabilized, then it's probably every 2 weeks where we just do a check-in, just kind of a pulse check on the property, how's things going, and that way we can address in real time, do we need to increase marketing? Do we need to adjust for rent specials or things like that, or also just looking at expenses. How are we doing? Or is maintenance able to keep our third party plumbing calls to a minimum? Do we have any HVAC things that we're subbing out? But kind of getting into the weeds on that. But it's operational and financial, and there's never a dull moment. There's always something. So
Yeah, so as you could tell, Brad is essential for your interests as investors, and he's really on the ground to make sure that the business plan goes according to plan. So speaking of, could you talk a little bit about renovations here at Villa Park and how things been going? What's your assessment about pace? And
yeah, I mean, here we are, it's July, and we've had the property about 8 to 9 months now. And when we bought it in winter, which when we got here and started kind of getting our assessment of everything, it took us a little while to open up some units, because it's just really hard to get people out in November, December, and January. It was a little bit of a slow start with the renovate. It takes a while, because when you're telling people the bad news, like, hey, I know you've lived here a while, but we want to renovate your unit and we're not going to renew your lease. It takes time to get people out. So once we got into the spring, though, we started opening up about in batches of 10 units at a time. So we're in the 20 to 30 units right now. So at the end of this month, we'll have 30 units renovated, and pretty much all of those are leased or pre-leased right now. Like as of today, we're sitting here with essentially like 22 units done and 21 of those leased.
wow.
So as we have these other units coming up that are coming across the finish line here between now and the end of July, and Jordan, our property manager, is working on pre-leasing those right now. So, but as soon as those are moved, as we get into the end of July, then I'll have another batch of 10 that have all had 30 or 60-day notices of non-renewal that will open up as well. So, but it doesn't all happen clean, like where you have people that you give a 30-day or 60-day notice, and some get out in 30 days, some get out in 45 days, some get out in 60 days. Like, it takes some time to find a place to live and everything. But overall, I guess really to get to the heart of your question, leasing has been going really well here. It's been leasing season, right? So if you're not doing good in leasing now, then you must not be very good.
Right.
Our property management team has been doing a phenomenal job. Again, our pace with renovations and leasing have been working really, really good together. And so, our problem initially was not having enough units to renovate, because we had to get people out. And now we're just managing the flow of opening up units that is in pace with how many our contractors can handle, as well as how many our leasing can handle. Because the goal is to not get too far ahead, or get too far behind where the contractors run out of work, or the leasing, our property manager says, hey, slow down. I'm leasing everything I can, but I don't need this many right now. So it's always you're always trying to synchronize that on a value add deal.
Yeah. Yeah. We were just talking about before we started the recording how that pacing is really tricky.
Yeah.
That you don't want to get too ahead of yourself, but you don't want to fall behind.
Right.
What are some things that you do on a day-to-day basis to try to manage that pace?
Yeah, I mean, I have I use a tracker that we created internally with our company that our property manager has access to, and it's basically a dashboard that has everything that you need to know about it has all the leasing information. So basically we merge all the rent roll information, and then I merge all of the renovation information. So you have everything from your move in, move out dates, lease expiration dates, are they month to month, and I can filter that to really tell me what I need to know, right? Like I can filter by, if I'm working with my property manager, hey, I need 10 more units next month, and then we can sit there and look at that and go, okay, who's our month-to-month tenants right now, or whose leases are expiring in August or September, and I can just quickly with the button filter that, and then I can also see on the board what units are in progress and every step of the stage that they're in, right? So we have vacant, and we have in progress, we have punch, clean, and completed. So I can see where every step of that unit is moving through the progress. And that way our property manager can get on there anytime she wants and can go, okay, I've got someone who's interested in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, this floor plan, and she can go see on that tracker what units we're working on right now.
Wow.
And the tenant can say, I want to move in 30 days. Well, she can see the estimated ready date on this tracker for, she can find one that's going to work on the timeline for that prospective tenant as well.
Wow.
So, and she's putting notes in there too. If she pre-leases something, then that instantly my contractor or project manager can see that and know to prioritize that unit. Maybe they're still working on punching and things like that, but as soon as she pre-leases it, they code it where it really stands out on their tracker to where they know, hey, this is a hard date. Like this tenant's firing up a U-Haul truck, and it has to be done. No excuses, right? So it's just a way for all of us where we all have real-time information. We share the same dashboard. That's something I manage regularly because it's always got to be updated. Because if the information is old, then we can't make real-time decisions. So it's a lot of data information, updating rent roll. Jordan, our property manager, is able to update her information. My contractor's got to update their information so that everything, is flowing, and we can see ahead. Right. That's really what we're trying to do, is make those strategic decisions of how many units. The contractor can see how many units they have opening up in 30 days, and she can see how many they're going to deliver in 30 days, and that way it helps us to keep that more synchronized.
Wow.